getting in visuals right now of the bilateral talks that Prime Minister Modi is slated to hold next after the bilateral talks he held with President Biden. And right now, as you can see on your screens, the live visuals that are coming from Tokyo, where Prime Minister Modi is holding talks. He's shortly set to hold talks with the former Japan Prime Minister, we are told. We will go across to Abhishek as well, who's tracking all the updates live from Tokyo, but the live visuals that we are getting to you of the Prime Minister in Tokyo. Remember, just a short while back, Prime Minister Modi also held bilateral talks with President Biden, and a slew of issues were taken up in the bilateral talks, and all eyes will be on the next bilateral talk that he is slated to hold with his Australian counterpart as well as the Japanese Prime Minister. So a jam-packed day there for Prime Minister Modi. Remember, earlier in the day, Prime Minister Modi also held talks with President Biden, and several issues were taken up. And talking about the Quad Summit, which happened earlier in the day, the four leaders came out strongly with regard to the China's growing aggression in the Indo-Pacific region. And the live visuals that we are getting to you right now of Prime Minister Modi holding meet with Yoshihide Suga, the former Japanese Prime Minister. So, Prime Minister there holding talks with the former Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga. We have a report that was filed by our senior executive editor Abhishek just a short while back from Tokyo. Let's take a look at that.
We are in Tokyo to cover the Quad Leaders Summit, which is going on as we speak. But there is a people's context when we say that Quad is a grouping which also has to take care about Chinese aggression, expansionism, belligerence. This is the people's context. Just there, the Quad leaders are meeting. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, President Joe Biden, Prime Minister Albanese and Prime Minister Kishida. This is the national diet, the Parliament of Japan, and these protesters out there trying to send a message to Quad leaders. It says, "Free Hong Kong, revolution now." Then these people are about Inner Mongolia. Then we have Stop Uyghur Genocide. Essentially, people have come together from various protests, various ideologies, and the rebellions that are going on against China. There down there is the Falun Gang, the sect which is persecuted by the Chinese, and that's why they are protesting. We see a lot of them at many places, including in Washington DC outside the White House, and these protesters are here. If you can try and get somebody to speak whatever English they can. Can someone speak English? English? Can you tell us about your protest little bit?
Yes, but I cannot show my face. But
okay.
So
he can't show his face, but he is ready to speak. Please tell us.
yes, we stand with Hong Kong and the other the nation. So yeah, we hope the quarter to do something to China. We think that China has do a lot of worse and unbelievable and unhuman, which kill people, and yes, you know.
Right, so essentially, exactly. So Chinese expansionism, aggression is an issue for everyone here. This is about Hong Kong. Can you explain us this map? What this map is about? Can you explain to us?
Chinese territory is here.
Okay, so this is the Chinese territory, yes.
And this Inner Mongolia.
This is Inner Mongolia.
Mongolians called Southern Mongolia.
Yes.
And this is Uyghur.
Uyghur Republic. Okay, within Chinese territory.
Yes.
East Turkestan, right?
Xinjiang.
Yes, Xinjiang, yes.
And
Yes.
This is Tibet.
This is Tibet.
Yes.
Yes.
And This is Quad Circle.
Yeah. This is the area of influence, okay?
Yes.
This is Quad Circle, okay. So what he's trying to explain is that if you look at the map of China, and if you look at the various rebellions going on, and the Chinese expansionism and belligerence, you look at a situation where if you take away Inner Mongolia, and these are the protesters from Inner Mongolia, if you look at Xinjiang and the Uyghur protests, and if you take away that territory, if you take away Tibet, the original Chinese territory is only this much, almost 1/3 of what we see as China. And that's an important aspect of these protesters. They are saying this is the Quad Circle with India, United States, Australia, United States and Japan. And this is an area of influence for Quad, and Quad should be doing something about this Chinese aggression and expansionism. And if it is tackled, the original China should be only this much. This is what the protests are about. Statement, Prime Minister, including every aspect of it. What is interesting to know would be that, one, when the Quad closed door consultations were taking place, sources tell us that President Biden singled out India's response to COVID pandemic vis-a-vis China's, and said that for the same size of countries, India's response and management of COVID was much better than what China has done. And in fact, the obstructionism that we have faced in terms of information flow from the Chinese over the last 2 years, both from the time of origin of the pandemic, its investigation. In fact, Australians took a lot of brunt for demanding a proper investigation as to where COVID really started and originated. So I think that was an important takeaway insofar as President Joe Biden's comments are concerned.